Hey YouTube, my name is Andrew and this is Kite Army. So today is gonna be one of the funnest videos I've ever gotten to share with you. So let's start here. About 6 months ago, I introduced this guy right here. This is the Ego Nexus Escape. And basically what this is a device that connects to a Ego battery that powers some of their outdoor power equipment and turns it into 110 volts. Now it does have its limitations because it's 150 watts. Now the great thing is, and this is what this video is all about, it turns out this Ego Nexus Escape has a big brother. Why not bring him in?
Let's do this!
This is the brand new Ego Nexus Power Station. Same principle is the Escape, but just a whole lot bigger. So this guy right here is capable of 2,000 watts continuous and peak 3,000 watts. It's got some smart technology tied to it. It has an app so you can control some of the functionality. We're going to talk about that. And just like the Ego Nexus Escape, it uses the batteries from all their power equipment. These batteries work on all their devices and turns it into 110 volts of power or power some USB ports. So we obviously have a ton to do today, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it. Come on guys, check this thing out. Can you believe it? Up close, it's absolutely amazing. I have to give total props to the Ego engineers who developed this thing. It is so cool. They're sitting on this battery platform, this 56 volt battery platform, and they're figuring out really cool ways to leverage all that power so we as customers benefit. Now for you power geeks out there, this is pure sine wave, which means if you've got electronics that are kind of sensitive to the kind of power they get, this guy can get the job done. Also, if you're wondering if this thing can power your device or appliance, the answer is probably yes if it's got a power cord on it. Now, if you're trying to run your whole house with this, you're gonna have to be a little creative, but you can get it done. So let me walk you through some of the controls of the Ego Nexus Power Station. First off, you have your power button right here. This will start up the unit and get it ready to give you power. You can see it will start this beautiful LCD display which gives you some status and some configuration of the unit. It's very cool. Down here you have your outlets for your 110 appliances, and over here you have 4 USB outlets. Along the side here, to turn on power to those outlets, you actually have to push the button right here, and that will enable and power those outlets so you can power whatever devices you have connected. And finally down here, you have a button to configure your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So guys, this is everyone's favorite part of the video. We get to talk about batteries, and we all know that we love batteries because they make the world go round. Now, Ego had the foresight years ago to come up with this platform that was all 56 volt, mowers, trimmers, blowers, snow blowers, all of it, and now inverters that could be powered by this 56 volt platform. Now they have different size batteries. This is the 2.5 amp hour battery right here. The mid-size is the 5 amp hour battery. Here's the 7.5 amp hour battery, and I hear that there might be even bigger. It's brilliant. It's because this battery can do so many different things. Now, other exciting battery news, and this video I didn't think it could get better, but it's going to. They now have a Generation 2 battery right here. Some of you have asked for a power meter in the battery. There you have it. The Generation 2 battery has that. This is the Generation 1. You can see when you push the button, it just lights up. Again, the brilliance of all of this is all these batteries can power this inverter. All these batteries can work on their yard tools. Come on. These guys are some smart people. So there's a few more things we need to talk about before we actually start testing this Ego Nexus Power Station. First off, this is sold as a indoor-outdoor power inverter generator. And what's cool is it's got no exhaust like a gas generator would have. So some of those complications that you have with gas generators, you're not gonna have with this guy. You can actually bring it inside and not risk any harm to your family. I love that. Secondly, it's super quiet. It makes just a whisper when you're running a device that's drawing lots of power. You'll hardly even notice it. So if you have noise restrictions, like you live in a condo or you're at an RV park, you're camping, something like that, this guy's gonna work great for you. and it's super quiet. Another really nice feature of the Ego Nexus Power Station is it can actually charge your Ego batteries. So say you're using one of their yard tools, you take the battery off the yard tool, drop it into the power station, it will charge it for you. Next time you want to use that tool, you just pull it off, you're ready to go. The reason why I suggest this is if you have an unexpected power outage, your battery's at full charge and you can run whatever you need to power as long as possible. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is a bit complicated, but I'm certain you can handle it. So at the beginning of the video, I told you the Ego Nexus Power Station delivers 2,000 watts continuous or 3,000 peak for 3 seconds. Now there is one caveat to that. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this can run on 1 battery, 2 batteries, 3 batteries, or 4 batteries, and any combination of those battery numbers. Now, the caveat comes into play if you only have 1 single battery. Now, if you're using a 2.5 amp hour battery, which is the smallest 56 volt Ego battery, you'll only get 600 watts out of this. If you go up to the 5 amp hour battery, you go to 1200 watts. And if you go all the way up to the big guy, the 7.5 amp hour, you go to the full 2000 watts. Now, if you go to your second battery, any combination will bring you right up to 2000 watts. See how easy that was? So the last thing I want to talk to you about before we actually do testing of the Ego Nexus Power Station is it's got an app. That's right, there's an app for the power station, and in that app you can basically get information about the status of your batteries, their charge level, as well as the runtime of whatever you have turned on in your power station. But the coolest thing by far is that right from in the app you can turn individual outlets on and off. I just turned the outlet on, check it out. Let me turn it off. Now you're probably asking yourself, why would I want to do that? And that's because if you want to conserve power and you have multiple things plugged into the front of your power station, you can cycle through them and extend the runtime of your power station. We love it! So as you can see, guys, I'm in the dark, I've lost power. Many of you will consider the Ego Power Station for just this kind of situation. I've got a fridge right here, I want to power it. Let's see if the Ego Power Station can do the job. Oh yeah, we're in business. So now we know the Ego Nexus Power Station is absolutely capable of powering our fridge, but what about all this stuff? We have some safety and some comfort. Let's do some testing. So one more little bit of information. Today we're gonna be testing with the Ego 56 volt 7.5 amp hour batteries that are included in the Ego Nexus Power Station. Now once you put these guys in, there'll be 2 open slots so you can add additional batteries to increase your runtime. So there's no doubt in my mind the Ego Nexus Power Station is great if you ever lose power in your home. But it doesn't have to collect dust the rest of the time. You can use it for a bunch of fun things, for example, camping, tailgating, boating, even job site. Sorry if you have to work. But there are so many great uses where you can have power off-grid. It's very cool. Me personally, I have my favorite use for it. Off-the-grid hot tubbing. Boom! That's how it's done. All right, guys, so I know that was a ton of information. Hopefully you found it informative, but don't go anywhere yet because we gotta do the wrap-up. So we learned a lot about this Ego Nexus Power Station today. We tested it, we found out the specs, we ran a hot tub with it, my personal favorite by far. Now the one thing we haven't talked about yet is cost. This guy sells for $1,200. Now, I'm not gonna make believe that's not a lot of money because it is to me and I'm sure it is to you. But when you think of it in terms of insurance and how it can protect your family, it's not a bad deal. Say if you've gotta run a fridge, you've got a sump pump, your basement's filling with water, this guy can protect you from those problems. So if you look at it from that angle, not a bad deal. Anyway, the other thing you consider is if you already have Ego tools, you can use those batteries in the power station to extend your run times, or if you don't have Ego power tools yet, you can use the batteries from the power station on those tools, and possibly you can buy them bare and save a little bit of money there. So you can kind of move things around a little bit to save some money and also have some awesome tools and protection for your family. All right, guys, there is a new rule here at Kite Army. All videos must end in a hot tub. I've had a bunch of fun here working with the Ego Nexus power station. Hopefully you found this video informative. If you did, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, check out all my other content, and if you want to find out more information about this Ego Nexus power station, there'll be a link below in the description. Feel free to hit that. And with that, I'll see you guys around real soon once I'm done here relaxing. Whew.